Hey, Bader, you're watching the TheDubEffect.
Yep, that happened. I got a little bored when I was making this video, and I was like, I'm going to throw in something completely random. Anyways, what is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, then what the hell are you doing? You should probably hit that subscribe button before you miss out on some great videos. Just saying. But today is the day that I tell y'all about how I got arrested and my whole experience of going to jail.
Get out there and get the wheel.
So, where shall I start? I guess from the beginning, right? So basically, it was me and two friends, and we were bored, so we decided, hey, let's go walk around. So we start walking around. We were walking around for a couple hours, and then I think this is probably about 1 or 2 in the morning, but we're walking, and we happen to come up on an elementary school over by my house, which, as we could see, was under construction at the time. And we were on the south side of the building, I guess. And you could see over the construction fence that they had put up around the whole site that there was a wall, basically, not there, into the school. And we seen that, and we were like, hey, it's an easy way just to get in the school. Now, we weren't going to get in there and steal anything, destroy property. No, we were just kind of bored, and we just wanted to walk around for an hour or two. We didn't really have any intentions on doing anything illegal. So, we jumped the fence, and we scouted out the area, and then we darted off once we seen it was clear, and no one was there, which it was 1 or 2 in the morning, like I said, so there was no one there. Everyone was at home and asleep. So we went and we jumped up. Though it was like probably 3-4 feet of a jump to get into the actual school. So we jumped up there, got into the school, and the first hallway that we walked up onto, there was a table where a bunch of random stuff was, and there was a pack, I guess, a plastic container of these green screws, and I seen those and thought, hey, this is something tiny, something small that I'm pretty sure they won't miss, that I can just keep as a memento, memories, and put it in a box, and when me and my friends are grown adults with our families and stuff, I would have that and be like, hey, remember that night? Of course, I didn't know what was gonna happen that night. But so I grabbed those and put them in my pocket, and so we proceeded to walk around. We walked up and down every single hallway basically, and didn't really see much. And then we went upstairs, and this isn't like well into the construction part of it. It was like after they got all the outside walls and some of the inside walls done. They didn't have any tile down. It was all still concrete and just barely have the walls and stuff like that. It was safe, but they were basically getting all the inners to the school done and the shell, the outside, and they didn't have anything like paint or tile or any of that put down. Or I don't even think they had electricity running through it yet. They may have, I'm not sure. But so it was pretty cool. There were some parts where there was no floor at all, which we steered clear of those. But it was cool looking down and seeing that. But so we made our way to the roof of the school. So we got up on the roof, and I think it's about 3 or 4 stories high. So it was pretty cool chilling on the roof and just looking out towards the city and stuff, and we were just sitting up there talking, having fun. And then we start making our way back down, and one of my friends, I'm not going to say their names, it's just going to be friend 1 and friend 2. So friend 2 apparently had stomach problems that night that none of us knew about, and he basically had to take a shit really, really bad. And I've never had that experience where I've really had to take a shit bad enough to where I was about to shit my pants. like, ever. So I was just kind of joking around about it, but first thing he says, he's like, bro, we gotta go. I gotta go to the bathroom, like, now. And, you know, I was just like, okay, he just gotta go to the bathroom. So I was, you know, just making fun, joking around, and, I don't remember what I said. I said something along the lines like, nah, I think me and friend one are gonna stay here. You can go by yourself and find a bathroom. And he actually got pissed and serious, and he was like, dude, I'm not fucking joking. I need to go to the bathroom now. I was like, all right, man, let's go. So I knew that there was a gas station, not really across the street, but like catty corner, no, is that diagonal? I don't know. Like, in an angle across the intersection, there was a gas station over there, and I knew it was there. I was like, all right, bro, we can go to this gas station, and you can use the bathroom there. So it's probably around 2:30 at this time. And so we make our way out of the building, and we jump the fence where we jumped it the first time, which was on the south side of the building. And we go head towards the gas station, and once we got to basically we could see it completely, we could tell that it was closed, which I forgot that the gas station closed at 10:30. So I was like, damn, bro, that sucks. He was like, what's the closest bathroom? I was like, there's a 7-Eleven a mile down the street. Can you make it a mile walking? And he was like, no, bro, I got to go now. And I was like, all right, man. And then so we sat there and thought about it for a minute. My house was probably about 3/4 of a mile. So I was like, hey, we just came from a construction site. All construction sites have porta potties. Let's go back there, you take your shit, and then we can head home. He was like, all right, man, let's do it. So we jumped the fence back to where we jumped it the first time on the south side of the building. And remember the screws that I picked up? I actually left those at the fence because I didn't want to carry them around the whole time. It was a decent size. I don't know. It was probably about a little bit bigger than a phone, like your average phone. So I left them at the gate, and we head toward the porta potties. And over by the porta potties, there's actually a pole that has like 4 or 5 lights around it that were very bright. They were like spotlights, kind of then shining it down just to light up the construction site when it gets dark. And then there was a couple. It looked like lights, and like, I don't know, probably 20 other lights above that just weren't on, all in, you know, different sections, like 4 on the next one, 4 on the next one, 4 on the next one. Okay. So I didn't think anything of it. I'm just like, okay, I don't get what the top of the pole is, but so we get into the porta potties. There's probably about 4 or 5 of them. Friend 1 and me take a piss, and friend 2 is taking his shit. While I was taking my piss, I seen flashing lights of the blue and red kind. So I almost shat my pants, even though I didn't have to. Right then and there. So I got done peeing, I zipped up my pants and buttoned them, and I opened the door and I peeked out. No cops in sight. So I was like, okay. And then friend 1 comes out. He's done with his piss. And I was like, bro, did you see those lights? He was like, oh, dude, yeah. I was hoping I wasn't the only one that seen them. And I was like, no, I seen them. I don't know what it is. And friend 2's just busy taking his shit. I didn't think he was paying attention to us. But, and then we look away, I guess, away from the light. And there was like a strobe flash, kind of just a bright white light, just real fast. And it strobed twice. It was like, blam, blam. And I was like, whoa, what was that? Where'd that come from? So those lights, the bottom level was the spotlights that were already on. The top level, or the next level up, was probably the strobe lights. And the next level up was probably the red and blue lights. And then the toppest part of it was cameras, which we did not see. So we didn't think anything of it. My friend gets done taking his shit, and instead of going back out the way we came on the south side of the building, we made our way around the building because we seen a skunk and we were just following it. I don't know why. It was probably the stupidest thing we've ever done in our life. But we actually came out on the west side of the building. But before we got there, there's the gate, and there was a small gap, and we were going to make our way through that gap. And we start walking, and I seen 2 police squad cars whiz by real fast. I was like, whoa, we didn't think anything of it. We're like, oh, okay. And then we seen 3 more cop cars immediately pull in, like, where we were looking. There was the fence, and then there was a parking lot. And on the other side of the fence, where the parking lot is, they whizzed in and parked right there, shined their spotlights on us, and got out of their cars with the spotlight still on us. And they were like, hey, y'all, come here now. So we're like, okay. And then one of them has his flashlights on. He's shining it towards the gap. And he's like, come through this gap right now. So we make our way through the gap. And the main cop, I guess, he was the one mainly talking and screaming. He's like, everybody, face the wall. Put your hands behind your back. No, he just said face your wall. Face the wall. It's hard for me to remember this story. But, so, first it's me, then friend 2, then friend 1, lined up, facing the wall. And the first cop, who was the one that's screaming a lot, came up behind me, and he said, put your hands behind your back. So I was like, okay. So I put my hands behind my back, and then I feel those cold metal cuffs go onto my wrists. And then I hear another cop, and he's like, put your hands behind your back. And he's talking to friend 2, who's right next to me. And friend 2 thought that they were talking to me, I guess. But, so he didn't do it. And the other cop smacked him in the back with the back of his hand pretty hard. Like, I heard a loud thump. It was like, doof! And I was like, ooh, shit. And then my friend immediately put his hands behind his back. They put the cuffs on him, and then put the cuffs on friend 1. They put us all in different squad cars, and it sucked. We probably got arrested, I think. Put the cuffs on us and stuff, and put in the squad cars, probably about 310-ish, 3 to 310. And I remember sitting in the back of the squad car by myself. I don't know if you've ever been in a cop car, probably not. But the back seat is not cushioned. It's like this hard plastic, so it sucks to sit on. But I remember it was hot and humid in that car. The windows all fogged up and everything. And I was just sitting in there, and it felt like forever. And so I started to get to the point where I started like losing my mind almost. I was just pissed off, but at the same time I was like, they don't have anything on us. Like, we didn't do anything. We just used porta potties. That's it. They're just gonna release us. And so about 2 hours, no, about hour and 30 minutes passed by, and I seen a dude on a motorcycle show up. I kind of see him through the window that was fogged up, just barely. But, so I see him talking to the cops. They eventually moved in front of the squad car that I was in, so I could see them a lot better because the windshield, the front windshield, was not fogged up at all. So I could see them. They were talking for a while, and then they just kind of disappeared. So I had my head down, and I was just chilling. And then next thing I know, let's see, I was sitting on the far left, back left of the police car. The rear right passenger side door opens, and the guy who was on the motorcycle popped his head in there and was like, you're being arrested and charged with trespassing. And I don't know, I was really pissed off at the moment. And basically what I was thinking, I was like, oh motherfucker, if you would have opened the left, my door basically, and poked your head in, like, I was gonna headbutt the shit out of him and break his nose. Like, that's all I could think about. And I was tired. It was hot and humid in that car. I was losing my shit. I was sweating so much. But I was like, whatever. And still at this point, I still thought, like, okay, they have nothing on us still. They're gonna release us, you know, once we get to jail or whatever. They're gonna, you know, I don't know. I just figured they don't have anything on us and it'd be fine. Because we were just using the porta potties, as far as they knew, because that's what we told them. But and that's where the cameras were, which I knew that, so that's why I was like, "Hey guys, stick with the story. We were just using porta potties." Like, as soon as we seen the cop cars, that's what I told them. I was like, you know, stick with the story. We're just using the porta potties, nothing else. And they were like, "All right." So Then, after about 20 minutes, the guy on the motorcycle leaves. The cops get in their each cop gets in their squad car, and then they take us to jail. So we get there, and the drive there felt long as hell too, even though it was like 3-4 miles away, roughly. I don't know, not sure, but we get there, and they take. See, I'm by myself at this point. I don't see the other two guys. So the officer that had me takes me in, and then takes me to this, like, it's kind of like a break room, but it also kind of looks like a meeting room. It has one of those long desks with the chairs all around it and stuff. And then there was chairs on the side, and at the end of this desk, there was a TV on the wall. And so he takes me in there, and as soon as I walk through the door, I look to my left, and my friend, friend number 2, is sitting there. Now, me and friend number 2 are both 18 at this time. Friend number 1 was 17. It was funny because friend number 2 just turned 18. But, so he's sitting there, still handcuffed. I'm still handcuffed. He sits me down next to him, and then we're sitting there, and I'm like, damn, bro, this is crazy. And he's like, yeah, and we're kind of just smiling at each other. And on the TV, it was actually playing TMZ, which was pretty freaking cool, because me and him sat there watching it, and it was just chill. And both of us, I guess, were still in denial about the whole situation. We still thought it was funny and pretty cool. I don't know why, probably because we're idiots. But, so we're sitting there, and then next thing I know, we see the other friend come in, who does not have handcuffs on. So as soon as he walks through the door, I look at him, and down at his hands, look back at my friend, and then I look back at the one without cuffs, and then I look down at me, and I look back at my friend with handcuffs, who's sitting next to me, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why are we handcuffed and he's not? Of course, I didn't think about it, but... And then he sits down next to me, and we, I think, sat there, all three of us together, for like a minute. It wasn't very long, but we were still kind of like smiling about it, and we just thought it was funny. And then me and friend number 2, the cop tells us to get up, and he takes us out of that room, down a hallway, and around the corner, where he takes me to this jail cell. You know, just like a normal jail cell that you would picture. It has the bars, and there's like a hard bench, but there's no bed or anything. It's just a bench, and then I think there's a toilet, and then there's like a drain at the bottom on the floor. And so they're talking to my friend number 2, who was 18, and they're asking him all these questions and stuff. Basically, like right outside the cells, like kind of like looks like a receptionist desk, with bulletproof glass. So he's talking to one of the officers that are behind the desk, and there's 2 officers right there standing next to him, and he's giving them the information. They're asking this and that, and then oh, I forgot to tell y'all an important part. Remember those green screws? I actually took one of those out and put it in my mouth because I just like chewing on things. It's gross, I know, but I don't know. I don't just put things in my mouth and chew on them anymore. It was just kind of a random phase, I guess. But, so, after he's done giving them the information and stuff, the other cop tells him to turn around, face him. They pat him down and everything, and then they have a flashlight, and they tell him to open his mouth. And they check in his mouth very thoroughly. And then they take him away. And I don't see him. And I'm like, okay. So I sit there for about 5 minutes, and then they come get me out of the cell. And, okay, one of the reasons is I was probably happy or excited. Not really excited. Not really happy, but not worried. Because I pictured jail being like you get your own cell and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm just going to sleep it off. It's going to be nothing, you know. I don't have to worry about it. No one's going to try to get my booty hole. So, then they get me up to the desk, and I give them all my information, yada yada. But, oh wait, I keep forgetting to say things. So when I was sitting there and saw them searching his mouth, I realized I had the screw in my mouth, and for some reason I freaked out. I was like, oh, they're going to see the screw, and I'm going to get in trouble. So I'm still handcuffed. I dropped the screw in my lap and barely reach around to where my fingers could barely touch it and grabbed it and put it in my pocket, because I figured if they found it in the pocket, it's not as bad as finding it in my mouth. Like, finding it in my mouth, that's kind of suspicious. Like, oh, maybe he was thinking about undoing his cuffs. So it was really hard because the cuffs were cutting into my hand like the whole time I was pulling so hard just to get that out of my lap and put it in my pocket. So I finally did that. Anyways, they get me out, they search me down, they get everything out of my pockets, which they didn't even find the screw. But then they take me to this room where I'm fingerprinted, and they get a mug shot, and then they give me my one phone call, which I called my mom and was like, hey mom, I'm in jail, can you come get me? Whatever you do not wake up dad and tell him, I don't want him to know, I'll tell him later, love you, bye. So then they make me take off all my clothes except for my boxers and my shirt, make me put on a orange jumpsuit. They give you these crappy orange rubbery crappy foam flip-flops that mine were actually tore up and barely hanging on by a thread on my right foot. And then you grab this bed thing, which is pretty huge, and I am 5'5", so it was kind of hard to carry, but and you grab a blanket and a pillow. And so I'm walking, I'm like, I can't wait to get in my cell because I'm gonna pass out, I'm so tired. And then we come up on this big old cell with this big old barred gate where there was probably 20 to 30 other inmates, grown-ass men in there. So, but first thing I seen my friend number 2, all the way on the back wall. There's like these small metal bunk bed type things, but they're not really bunk beds. They're just like a metal slab hung on the wall by just 2 chains. 2 chains! And he was on the top one. There's one on the bottom, one on the top. And he was on the top one, and there was a spot open next to him. And he kept, like, nudging his head to the side, trying to tell me to come get in the bed next to him. In my head, I was like, motherfucker, you really think I'm gonna choose a different bed sleeping next to someone else? Nah, you crazy. So I get in the bed, and we just look at each other, and we just smile and laugh. And so it's 5 in the morning when we got arrested. 5:10, I think, but I'm not sure. So we're sitting there, and I was like, damn, bro, we're in jail. Me and him didn't know each other all that well. He just moved not too long ago to the city I live in, because friend number 1 and friend number 2 are cousins, and friend number 1 I became friends with first, hence why he's friend number 1, and friend number 2 just moved probably about a month or so prior to this. So I was like, bro, this is a great bonding experience for us, you know, barely knowing each other. He was like, hell yeah. So on a Sunday morning in the county jail that we went to, they served donuts at 6 o'clock in the morning, which I didn't know, which was pretty cool. But you get 4 donuts, and they're normal sized donuts. They just don't have any sugar or powder or anything like that. They're just donuts with no sweet and nothing. And then you get like a tiny, tiny cup. Like, this thing is really small. Like one of those little tiny Dixie cups. Probably even tinier than that. And it's like a shot, basically. And you get coffee, milk, and orange juice. So 4 donuts, a little thing, a little shot of coffee, milk, and orange juice. Which the orange juice was disgusting. I don't even think it was orange juice. It was weird. So everybody, like, they didn't even have to come wake up people. Everybody just woke up at 6 knowing that it was donut day. So we get our stuff, and we go and lay down, or get back into our beds, and I look over and I'm like, hey bro, they seem like they like donuts a lot. I don't know how long we're about to be in here, but I don't want to start nothing with nobody. I don't want no one to start anything with us, so let's just give our donuts away Like, you keep one, just give 3 away to some people, and hopefully we can at least make good with some of these people. I don't really want to fight anyone or anything like that. And before you start calling us pussies or bitches, I mean, I'd rather go to jail and not get into a fight and have to be in there longer than I have to than, you know, going to jail, getting your ass whooped, or whooping someone's ass, and or whatever, starting a big ass fight, whatever, and have to be in there extra longer. Or whatever. I don't know how. Yeah. Anyways. So, me and him, I gave my donuts away first. I gave away 3 of them, and then I had 1 left. He gave away 3 of them, and he had 1 left. And so, everything was fine. And then this weird dude gets out of bed. He woke up late, and then he comes up to me, and he was like, "Hey, man, if you give me your donut, I'll give you my dinner roll at dinner." And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to be in here at dinner time, because I had confidence my mom was going to come get me out of there way before dinner time. So he was like, "Nah, man, you got to be in here." I was like, "Nah." And he was like, "If you give me your donut, I'll give you a little something extra later." I was like, "Oh, fuck no." And so I was like, "Dude, I'm not even that hungry. Here, have my donut, but I don't want anything from you." He was like, "Alright, man, cool." So I gave him my donut, and then my friend, he was like, "Dude, I'm not even that hungry either. I don't want my donut." So he goes to give it away. He gives it away to this one guy who's just wrapped up in his blanket, sitting at one of the tables. He gives him the donut, and then as soon as he does and starts walking away, this short, kind of chubby Irish guy, he didn't really sound Irish, but he had a bunch of tattoos and stuff like that, like Celtic cross, stuff like that. And he also said that he was Irish at one point. I just don't remember when he said it, but he was like, "Oh, you giving your donuts to wrong people. You about to have a bad motherfucking day." It was weird. But my friend, he like laid in bed and looked at me. He was like, "Oh no." I was like, "Oh god, dude, what did you do?" So we're sitting there talking with everyone, and we're talking about, like, everybody was pretty chill after the whole breakfast part of the day. We were all talking about, like, our favorite music and stuff like that, whatever. And so my friend, at one point, everyone goes back to bed. My friend looks at me and he was like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna go to sleep and, you know, just sleep until we get out of here." And I was like, "All right, man." But in my head, I was like, "Motherfucker, I gotta watch both of our backs while we sleep? Really?" So I stayed up, and so about 30 minutes pass, and one of the guards come to the gate. And he's like, "Nicholas Meek?" And I was like, yes. I was like, "Yeah." "Grab your stuff. You're getting bailed out." Oh my god, I could not celebrate any harder than I did. I mean, I could, because I was just like, played it off, you know, cool as hell. And so I start grabbing all my stuff, and I start walking, and then I look back, and I'm like, "Y'all take it easy now, you hear?" Which people probably didn't like me, because I woke up a lot of people. I mean, that was my intentions, was to piss people off before I left, because I just thought it was going to be funny to do that. And so then I look back at my friend, and he sits straight up, and he's got wide eyes. He looks worried as hell. And I'm just like, "Oh, that sucks for you." So I get out, get into that room where they had my mugshot and had me change and stuff like that. And then I change, and I asked the chick that was in there. She was in just normal clothes. And I was like, "Who came to bail me out? Was it a guy or was it a girl?" She was like, "I think it was a guy." And immediately I was like, "Son of a bitch. Why, Mom? You had one job." So, get my stuff, and then I had to sign some documents, stuff like that. And then I come out, and there's my dad standing there. And I'm like, so he didn't say anything to me. I get in the vehicle, and I still thought the whole situation was funny. We were getting arrested for taking a shit. Like, I don't know, that just seemed pretty funny. And I also thought it was bullshit at the same time. So I get in the vehicle, on the way home, I'm like, well, that was a bunch of bullshit. And he did not say anything. It was like one of those moments where you'd rather have them scream at you and everything, but no, it's just one of those, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. But no, he was both. He was pissed and disappointed. So I was like, man, this just sucks. So it was 8 o'clock when I got home, and my mom had made eggs and bacon and pancakes. Oh, it was the best breakfast I've ever eaten in my life. So I eat my breakfast, then I call my other friend, the one who was not 18, and he was at home. He actually was asleep when I called him, and I was like, hey, did your cousin make it home? And he was like, yeah, he got bailed out like 15 minutes after you did. I was like, oh, damn. All right, well, I'm going to come over, and we're all just going to talk about this and laugh. And so that's what we did. I went over there, and we all just talked about it and laughed our asses off. And, yeah, it was not fun, but, yeah, no, it was not fun at all.
Friendly UAV inbound.
Then the next thing happened. I got a job so that I could pay for the court costs and all that.
Friendly care package incoming.
And so we went to court, and I go up there, and he was like, what do you plead? I said, I plead no contest. And then he was like, do you have a job? I said, yes. He said, when do you get paid? I think it was like the 8th is when I got paid. I told him that. He was like, all right, well, your first bill is due on the 3rd,
Friendly
so
Hellstorm inbound.
take him away. I was like, wait, what? And I seen the cop. He comes up, puts the handcuff on me, just one arm, one wrist. He puts the handcuff on. Takes me to this back, not really a back room. It's like a side room, but the door was wide open, so I could still kind of see through. And he puts the other handcuff on a bar that was attached to the wall. So I still had my phone, so I had a great idea. So I took a picture of it and sent it to all my friends, my boss, and all that. And I'm like, oh, I'm going back to jail, which I wasn't. I just had to pay a court cost of $250, but I didn't know that. But so I took a picture and told him I was going back to jail, joking around. I knew I wasn't, and so I'm sitting there, and I thought it was funny. And I see my friend go up there, the one who went to jail with me. And they asked him, what do you plead? He said the same thing as I did, except for he was getting paid on the 1st because he had the Social Security benefit or something like that. I don't remember what it's called. So he told him that, and then he was like, all right, you're good to go. Pay your first bill at the front desk, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there like, what? No, hell no. Why did he get to go and I don't? So I was pissed off. But then my mom paid it for me, and then I was good to go. So yeah, that is the story of why I got arrested and how my whole experience was going to jail. It sucked. And the moral of this story is, don't go to jail. It's not fun, and it's expensive. My fines were a total of $1,250. That shit sucked. Alright, guys. You know what time it is. It's the end of the video. So, as always, have a good day.